A sonnet in response to John Reilly's The Raising of Lazarus. 4 days ago the world closed down on me, collapsing, folding, crumbling down to naught. Pulse slowed, breath ceased, eyes glazed, life's energy slipped out my grasp, my siblings left distraught. They bound me tight and lowered me in the grave. They wept and wept till tears would come no more. If only he'd been here, his life to save, if only he had come when first sent for. But now he's here, and entropy's reversed. Expanding, opening, spiralling up to life, blood flows, eyes blaze, lungs fill, hearts fit to burst with heliocentric joy that now runs rife. My second chance, a showing of his glory. His cross on me fast forwards his own story. This picture surges with energy and movement as Jesus draws Lazarus from the grave into a spiral around the sun. If you look carefully at the head of the grave, you can see that in this one image, John Reilly captures 2 moments in time. The figures portrayed there were first in mourning, but are now standing in shock. This gave me the idea of rewinding the story to the point where Lazarus died and was lowered into the grave, his body slowly shutting down and beginning to decay. Whenever I've read this story, the fact that both Martha and Mary greet Jesus with, "If only you'd been here," has struck me forcefully. Our lives have so many if only moments, often tying us to a sense of regret which prevents our healing. So this aspect of the story had to find its way into the sonnet. I've always remembered a documentary by Brian Cox from 10 years ago now, where he explains that any system tends from order towards disorder. This is the law of entropy, which will apply to Lazarus' decaying body. It is a miracle that here entropy is reversed and that Lazarus is revivified. But the Gospel tells us clearly that this is not for his own sake, but as a revelation of God's glory. I chose a medieval spelling for the word showing as a link to Julian of Norwich, who received 16 showings, her way of describing mystical revelations of divine love. John's Gospel is recognised as being structured around 7 signs of Christ's divinity. The Raising of Lazarus is the last of them. Within the same chapter, the plot is laid to kill Jesus. So now the sonnet, having wound back the story, notices the cross John Reilly has included upon Lazarus' chest and fast forwards to the cross of Christ. A cross which will lead not to temporary revivification, but to resurrection, to eternal life.